Hello friends, this is Bilal Heather, and today we are going to learn about this method which is called ReduceRight. Okay, we already learned about a method called reduce, and we already know how it works. There is a video on my channel. If you haven't watched it, go and watch it. I will also put a link in the description, but I will explain the reduce right now. So what reduce right method basically does, just like reduce method, it's going to reduce all these numbers into a single number. Okay, so how does it work? What it does basically, it's when you write reduce right, it accepts a method which has two inputs. Okay, there is a total and there is an item. Okay, the first time when this loop starts, it puts the very last number, okay, into the total, and second last number into the item. Okay, so that's what this loop basically shows you in here. Okay, so the first time when when ReduceRight function starts working, basically what it does, basically it puts the very last element into the total and second last element into the item variable. Okay, then on each iteration, what it does, basically it puts the next element in reverse. Okay, we are starting from the right side and going towards the left side. Okay, we are starting from the last item and we are going towards the first element. Okay, with reduce, we saw that we started from the first element and we were going to the last element, but in the case of reduce method, we were also reducing the number into one single number. Okay, so now what we are doing the same thing in reverse order. We are starting from the last item and we are going towards the first item. So the first time total has 6 and item has 5. On next iteration, whatever we will return from here, whatever number will return from this internal method here, ReduceRight method it's going to put it in the total variable. Okay, and in item variable it's going to put the next item. Okay, then the next item and then the next item. So on each iteration it's going backwards and it's putting the elements in the item variable here one by one, and whatever we are returning from this function, it is putting that in the total variable. So by the end of this loop, when this loop ends, basically what we are going to have in our result, right, whatever is there in this variable. Okay, when it reaches the beginning of this array, whatever we have in our total variable here, it's going to return that to this result variable. So if I just go and console log my result here, right, and I remove this part because that was just to show you how it works. Now that we know how it works, we can just use it basically. So we see that it is calculating the sum of all these numbers, and it is returning us that sum in this variable called result. So reduce and ReduceRight, both of these methods work the same way, right? Their internal logic is the same basically, but reduce starts from the first element and goes towards the last element. Okay, it starts accumulating this total variable from the first element. Okay, I'm talking about the reduce method. But this ReduceRight method, it actually starts from the last element and it goes towards the first element. So this is the basic difference between reduce and ReduceRight methods. So personally I think if we want to just use the reduce method, if we only learn the reduce method, we can use that only with any scenario. Basically what we can do, if we want to start from the end and go towards the beginning using the reduce method, right, like this, right? But a reduce, we know that it's going to start from the beginning and it will go towards the end, right? But let's say we have a scenario, we have a use case where we don't want it to start from the beginning and go to the end, but what we want is we want it to start from the end and it should go to the beginning, right? So there is one solution which we talked about already, and that is using the ReduceRight method. So I guess this is all about this video part. And if we just want to use reduce method, right, what we can do is we can do this. We can call numbers equal numbers.reverse, right? And then what reverse method will do, it will reverse this array, like it will put 6 in the first place, 5 in the second place, 4 in the third place, and so and so. The reverse method first going to reverse the this array, right, and put it in the same variable called numbers, and then we can use the same reduce method and it will mimic like we are using the ReduceRight method. So that's the second way to do the same exact thing which ReduceRight method does. So I guess this is all about this video part. I'm sure I will be back with some more videos.